Hey guys, welcome to day 5 of the Fight for Your Calling Challenge. Woo! We made it, didn't we? I want to thank you so much for joining in with tons of other women who have a passion and want to fight for that calling. I am so excited that you chose to fight for your calling. So let's just do a quick recap. Day 1, we talked about renewing your mind and eliminating those distractions that come at us all the time. You guys, I mean, are the days not filled with distractions or what? We all get those distractions, but we have to learn how to focus and renew our minds. I've learned so much about focusing. and I even told you guys this, I feel like that I've been distracted lately and I've grown apathetic, and I have to realize that, and you do too. And the only way we can really focus is by eliminating those distractions and renewing our minds. And the way we do that is through Jesus Christ. Day 2, we talked about envisioning a God-sized calling. Can you envision a God-sized calling? Can you? Because His calling for you is huge. You're special. You have a calling. Can you envision it? Day 3, we talked about, day 3 was probably my favorite because it was kind of feisty, and honestly, for anyone that knows me personally, that's kind of my personality. I'm a little bit feisty. But it was about punching those call blockers in the face. Call blockers like fear, self-doubt, insecurity is a huge call blocker that women have. Pride. And you know, that call blocker might be a person. Honestly, I'm not saying go out and punch somebody in the face. Punch the call blocker in the face. Not the person, even if it's a person. Hopefully you get what I'm saying. But it could be maybe somebody that's having a poor influence over you. Or maybe it's someone that's very near and dear to your heart, but you kind of need to take a step back so you can focus. Maybe that's all it is. But whatever, you know what the call blockers are. Whatever it is, girl, punch it in the face. Number 4, we talked about taking responsibility for your calling. And this one I feel super passionate about because I think a lot of times as women, we want to blame other people. We want to blame our families. We want to blame our busy work schedule. And we want to blame God. We feel like God's given us a calling. And then we sit around and wait for God to fulfill it. We sit around and wait for that phone call. We sit around and wait for whatever it is. You will have to define that. But we sit around and wait for God to fulfill it. And I want you to know, it ain't God's responsibility, you guys. That's on us. It's our responsibility to fulfill our calling. And so we're at day 5. The reason why I wanted to do a video on day 5 is because I'm so passionate about you and what God's called you to do. And I'm passionate about you getting off your fanny and doing whatever it takes to fulfill that calling. I'm passionate about you fighting for your calling because we need that. This world needs that. Your family needs that. Whatever you've been called to do, fight for it. Get up and fight for it. Don't give up. You know, one of my favorite movies of all time is a movie called A League of Their Own. And Rosie O'Donnell was in it. Tom Hanks was in it. Madonna was in it. And some other, Gina Davis was in it. And it's a movie about a bunch of women who played baseball for, I think it's a true story. And it was the first women's league, baseball league, I believe. But there's a scene in the movie when they're at a game, they're playing, and they're in the, what's it called? The batter's box? I can't think of it. The place where all of the players sit. I forget what it's called. You know what it's called. Anyway, they were in that little area, and one of the girls starts crying. And it's the funny, Tom Hanks is brilliant because he has this look on his face, and he's like, there's no crying in baseball. So I can't do it like he does it, but that's my tone right now. You cannot give up. And there's no trying. Like, we don't try, we do. So you either do or you do not, but don't try. Don't say, Okay, well, so I'm just going to try and see what happens. No, do not take on that. You do. I hope you either do or you do not. And I hope that you don't choose the do not. I hope you choose the do. Get up, my friend. Don't give up. Don't let your mistakes hold you back. Don't let what's been done to you hold you back. Don't give up. You fight for that calling. I hope that in this challenge that you've been inspired. I don't know what God's spoken to your heart. I pray that God has just spoken something huge to your heart. And I pray that you are inspired to get up and fight for that calling, because I've said this so many times before, but I believe that God is building up a generation of women who know how to fight. They know where their source is. They know they can't do anything without Jesus Christ and his direction in our lives, but they know how to fight because of that. And you're going to fight for your calling, no matter what it is. And I just want to encourage you. Would you do me a favor? Would you respond to this email? And I would love to know what your calling is. I know that might seem intimidating. It may not. It would be intimidating for me if I was on the other side of this video. But I'm going to ask you to respond and let me know, and let me know what you've learned. Sometimes when we write it out, we're more accountable. So if you feel that you want to do that, I would love that. I also want to encourage you to use those images and share them, and use the hashtag #FiercelyHis and fight for your calling. And I want you to tag me in them, and let the world know what you learned and how you're going to fight, and what your calling is and how you're going to fight for it. So you guys, this is it. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being a part of this challenge. And I do want to tell you this. This is so huge. You know, the things that God calls us to do, they're awesome and they're great. But our one true calling is Jesus Christ, and meeting him in heaven one day. That's really what our true calling is. All these other little callings that we have are just kind of prequels to the one true calling, which is going to heaven and meeting Jesus at the cross one day. You know, what we've been called to do, they're great. The things that God calls us to do are awesome. I don't want to downplay those. But our true calling is Jesus Christ. So as we close, I just want to pray for you. So would you bow your head with me and just let me say a quick word of prayer for you? Lord, I thank you for my friend. I thank you that she signed up and took the leap to sign up for this challenge when she probably didn't know what she was going to get, Lord. Thank you for my friend and the fact that she signed up for this challenge, Lord. I ask that you go with her today. I ask that you give her a deep passion and a longing to fulfill the calling that you've placed on her life. God, I ask that you nudge her in those annoying little ways that you sometimes nudge us. I ask that you nudge her to keep after, to fulfill the calling that you've placed in her life, God. Or whatever she's going through, God, I ask that you show yourself real to her. If she's going through a hard time right now, Lord, I ask that you wrap your arms around her and let her feel your presence in the only way that you can, God. I thank you for her. I thank you for her life. I thank you that she's my friend, God. So I'm going to leave you, and I just want to say thank you again. Thank you for your belief, and I want you to know that I believe in you. And I want to thank you for being a part of this Fiercely His community. You will probably receive 2 or 3 emails a week, and I hope that God speaks to you in a mighty way, and I hope that I see how he's going to use you. Have a great day, you guys, and I want you to know that I love you with all my heart.